What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Triangle. This is your boy D.
And it's your girl CJ.
And I have an issue. Because in the song, The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica.
Yes.
The boy is mine, the boy is mine,
the boy is mine, the boy is mine. But technically, the boy was nobody's.
Oh.
Like, this nigga was nobody's. He was his own. And I need us to start being our own. That way we're not singing between apartment walls about a nigga that don't give a fuck about either one.
If you think about it, they were neighbors in the video. How sad is that?
How sad is that? And he was able to leave one house and just come over to the next one. Like, Brandy tripping, Monica, let me in. And then you dumbasses are just now realizing it?
It's so terrible. We're terrible. Wait, you're terrible. You started this conversation.
I'm also Brandy, but I'm not going to be sharing any future man or none of that shit. Or singing about it.
Oh, no. No songs? No Taylor Swifting about it? Nothing?
I'll probably sing and dance a little bit about it, but I'm not going to be doing that shit with another bitch. No.
Terrible. Terrible. Anyway, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today is part 2 of the good, the bad, and the sorta in between episode. We are going to continue with a little bit of our spirituality, beliefs, faith, all of that good stuff that comes with religion and all that in between things. We're going to start off with crystals, because we didn't really get into it last time. Look at Brandy. She's like, crystals. So Brandy was telling us that she's been drawn to jade, quartz, and what was the other one?
Amethyst. I was just over it at the beginning of the year. Like, anytime I would see a piece, I'm like, yeah. And that was the voice I did.
Really? That was the voice you did? I don't think you should have picked it up if that was the voice.
That was the voice that came out of me.
So here's the thing, just so you guys know, the reason I love my crystals, and I'm just going to show you because I brought it out today. Look at this. This is my...
Oh.
Yeah. It's
a collection.
Very nice, very nice.
She got the rocks. It's the rock in here.
Oh, no. It's some
rock
serious stuff. I can't. Y'all are terrible. But anyway, so I know a lot of people are, like, confused or don't understand that crystal lifestyle for different people. I mean, it's different for everybody. So it's a
lifestyle?
It's a part of your life, I guess, is how I should put it. Because for a lot of people, it's not just about, like, some people collect it because of its beauty or whatever, because back in the day, ancient times, yes, they used to do that. And they would make breastplates with it, kings, queens, all of that stuff. A lot of people now, I think, are into crystals for their so-called healing powers and whatnot. And I think a few other people are probably using it in different crafts, and mostly witchcraft. I am not one of them, although Brandy might disagree.
Definitely a witch. But
it smells like a witch. Uses crystals like a witch. Just might be a witch.
Well, the thing is, though, it's also in the Bible. And so to me, it's not anything too far from, like, being one with nature and one with, like...
You said you're talking about the crystals are in the Bible?
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. That's not true, because I believe it. I was just...
Yeah. So they talk about different kinds of rocks in the Bible and what's their uses are in the Bible. It's just probably slightly different from what we use them for today, because a lot of people... Yes, Miss...
Question.
Raising her hand, you guys.
Those annoying motherfuckers that just couldn't wait. Their hands would be all up, like... My hand is just so tired from having the right answer. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Go ahead, Ms. Blocker.
Thank you. So, before you go on describing the crystals, just playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
If somebody believes in what the Bible says about crystals, but not something else, isn't that kind of going off of, what we were saying, kind of cherry picking, like...
Sounds like to me.
I mean, because if somebody agree, I'm not saying you're doing it, but if someone's like, hey, crystals are in the Bible, but then also like, well, this is in the Bible too. Are we going with this? Is this
so that's the whole thing about using books and like biblical, like understanding of things, or any book really for religion, is that, yeah, you can definitely take whatever you want and run with it. So, which is also why I kind of shied away from religion as a whole, and I kind of moved towards spirituality, because with that, it's me, my relationship with God, and whatever else I believe in, because I know that there are angels or light beings and things like that. You know what I mean? Because also, when you go into a more far right-handed like Christianity situation, they don't even want you talking about the universe, because they think that that's more of a dark art kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what we talked about, sort of the manifestation thing. They consider it more of a dark art situation because it's not of God. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine line. You just kind of have to maneuver through it the way, I guess, your heart and your mind tells you to, or something like that, I guess.
So what does your heart and mind tell you about crystals?
So to me, it has everything to do with energy, and the fact that crystals harness or is vibrations that repeat itself to form the crystal that it is. Did that make sense? So, yeah. Okay. So
the vibration in terms of what? Like, is it like the molecules vibrating, like on a scientific level? Or?
It's more on a scientific level, but some people do say they can feel the vibrations of crystals in their hand. I only feel.
I can say when I hold crystals, because I do have a cousin that's into it. I have no idea what crystals are about. The farthest I've ever gotten with crystals when I used to put them in my mouth, because I had pica when I was little. So I used to I used to crave like rocks. I don't know why it was weird. That's like episode 18. But whenever I would hold the crystals, like I'm not to say you could feel it vibrate, but you could definitely feel something. I don't know.
Okay, so I was just gonna say, I don't feel vibrating. I feel heat. That's heat. It's warm in my hand. So when I go buy crystals and I put my hand over certain rocks, I can feel whether it's just cold like a rock or heated up against me. And it's not touching me. I can just feel it emanating. I know that sounds absolutely batshit crazy.
I feel nothing.
Well, here's the thing. Not everybody feels everything. And I'm going to see if I can do this correctly. So, for example, so you know how you were talking about the amethyst, the jade, and the quartz. The amethyst and the quartz have a very similar use in, like, I don't know what the right word is, crystallology, I don't know, in crystal work, I guess. That sounds like a black person's new drink.
Stop. I'm over it.
It's like a sister drink to hypnotic or something. Just
right, 1996 style New York. This crystallology.
Crystallology. So anyway, so there's colors associated with what they call chakras. You guys heard of chakras?
Yes.
Throughout your body. So it's different points in your body that give off certain kinds of energies, and a lot of times crystals in certain colors associated with the matching chakra. So for example, the quartz and the amethyst is usually the crown or the third eye. I think.
Does this mean I'm woke as fuck?
I think well, so you started off with the amethyst, right? Chill, please. Let CJ speak so she can get.
Stop laughing, you guys. I'm being serious.
Okay, so the amethyst is more for the third eye and crown. Depending on the chart you look, sometimes it's only for the third eye, sometimes it's both. I tend to think it's mostly for the both of them. The crown is the very top of your head. It's your skull. It also involves your skin, your upper brain, and a pineal gland. You guys know what that is? It's supposed to be your third eye.
That's your third eye.
That's supposed to be your third eye. We'll get into that one episode too.
I thought it was called penal. Maybe I'm messing it up.
I don't know. I might be messing it up. I'm not very good with all that.
You are foreign, so to be fair.
That's my excuse. English is my third language, so I speak.
Oh, okay. She said, "You dumb hoes. I speak more than one."
I speak 5, so I'm done. But so the mental state of the crown chakra is typically your higher self. It's like the sum of everything put together. And if it's because of a negative concept, it's because you're, I guess, apathetic to situations, or you're getting to a place of spiritual obsession where you're like trying to figure things out. It could be that you're depressed, and a couple of other things too. Physically, it might be like epilepsy or something like that to do with the brain. And your other one, if it's just your third eye, it usually has to do with your pineal gland. Also, your eyes, well, your five senses. And if your mental state is usually searching for wisdom, insight, intellect, intuition, and mind power. And so that might be why you're so like, yeah, exactly, attracted to that. Your negative construct for that is like headaches, insomnia, nightmares, visions, hallucinations, dizziness, stuff like that can happen. Right. It's like, so what I'm saying about the malfunction part is that you're craving that crystal because you're trying to fix something within you that has something that's negative connected to it. Right. And so your third one, which got me, is the jade, which is your heart chakra. I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's why I was like,
Bible. I have jade now.
She done threw her book. I'm so doing. Please don't throw that out. But so your jade. Oh my God. D just threw a cross in the.
We're done. We got our rocks.
No, so the heart chakra is green. It's the fourth chakra from the top. Emotionally, it's about self-love, love of nature, others, forgiveness, compassion, vulnerability, trust, and empathy. And when you're craving that, it's because you have lack of self-love. You need to breathe, right? You need to trust again. You need openness. You're trying to get away from fear of depression and loneliness and girl, all I'm saying is sometimes you never know what you're craving till you get told that you're craving that sometimes. But I mean,
okay, Church of CJ.
To me,
I've been craving a cheesecake for the past.
I can't take you nowhere.
We're ruining her real talk. Stop.
Oh man.
I can't take you nowhere.
Oh, we'll be good, Mom. We're good now.
But no, so seriously, like, to me, when you said all of that, it made so much sense because I was like, well, there's a lot of stuff, we're not going to get into it, but there's a lot of stuff. And I feel like, maybe that has a natural selection. Now, of course, there's a possibility that you just think it's pretty and you want it. You know what I mean? But like for me, like I use quartz to clear energy a lot of times, or to like just clear my space. It's really good when you meditate. Do you guys meditate at all?
No, I like to say that I do. It's a good idea, but I've always been planning on doing it, but no, I've never.
You can actually meditate for just 2 minutes. You don't have to do like a whole 30-minute prep situation. Like you can meditate just a couple minutes.
I think that's exhausted me. It's like, man, I have to prep to meditate.
How do you meditate? Like, what do you do? You just sit still?
Yeah. So your goal, from what I understand, is when you meditate, you want to make sure that you try to reach a state of nothing in your thoughts. You're not thinking. It's
yeah.
I'm gonna tap out of this one.
You know what though? When I was 15, I went to a Buddhist temple, on a field trip back in Okie.
I think I remember you telling me this once. Yes, go ahead.
I tried to do that meditating thing. All comes back. I'm sitting in I don't know if it's called a sanctuary. I don't know where we're sitting.
Right, like, the little room thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're beating the gong, and then we started doing the ohms. And we were just on a field trip. They were just giving us a demonstration, and they were like, if you feel comfortable, this is how you do it. And they were telling us to breathe rhythmically and then say the ohms. And it took me somewhere. I went to it, I felt that shit. I felt it so much that I got up and walked the fuck out. It scared the fuck out of me, yeah. I was like, I ain't going to hell behind this shit. No.
It's
and I walked my ass outside.
No, I
and
totally
I sat, and I looked at the beautiful garden with about 3 of my other classmates that felt the same way. They're like, what the fuck is this shit? They're like, did you feel that shit? Yeah, we felt that. We got it.
Is that like that astral projection or
I don't know what the fuck it was. I had my eyes closed and I was saying Om and I felt like a lift. And I was like, gotta go. Gotta go.
Well, that's probably
Singer, gotta go.
Your higher self ascending, but
You know a witch would say that?
First of all,
don't listen, honey. You did right, baby. You ran. You did right.
Yeah, but seriously though, so like for me, it's just I gotta say it's kind of like using the Bible to clear your mind, because it's not something that I like force on people, but I really do think that it helps me get through some shit. You know what I mean? Just like any other religion, really, if you think about it. Like,
yeah. Well, so I have a question though. So what you get from the meditation, is it like just to clear your mind and to have peace, or are you listening? Because I know when you pray, you're asking, you're throwing thoughts and ideas at God. So when you meditate, are you listening to God or for God?
The clarity comes afterwards. I'm not sure if it's usually always while you're meditating, because you're trying to like keep like your mind clear, I guess, or something. But I feel like it's you in yourself, so you don't really hear anything until, I mean, you can ask questions, but I think the clarity usually comes at the end, or like when you've come out of it, because I think your brain is cleared out so much that you think better, and so there your answers come from that.
So it's like truly giving your mind like a rest to kind of recharge and come to terms with itself.
Yeah, it's kind of like sleeping, but consciously. Like your brain processes. You control it. Right, you're processing stuff like without. It's so hard. It's processing without processing. Look at Brandy. She done took her glasses off. She got her. She brought her sunglasses out.
I have not ever, like per se, used biblical verses or le Bible to meditate.
Well, not meditate. Yeah.
I have like refocused or repurposed energy in a sense. When I listen to CDs that I like, whether it's my girl Britney, or really when it was, I remember Mary, the CD that had "It's the God in Me." I forget what it was called, but the CD was off the chain.
The one with the shackle song.
No, because that was like their first album. But yeah, it was that one. But it was really good, and I was going through a very hard time in my marriage, and it really, between that and of course, having a solid church group, it really did help me like from killing myself. Like I was really on the edge. Like I'm about to take everybody out, and PJ just gonna be an orphan because I can't.
Oh damn.
Oh, it was. But we'll get into that when we start talking about relationships. But I have like programmed the negative thoughts in my head,
right,
and lined them up with the words that I was hearing in that CD. Which a lot of times in the churchy church CDs and songs anyway, all they're doing is reciting Bible verses. But if I make it black and white, it does bring truth to what you said. You can almost take anything that can be looked at as a positive and, put your mindset there when you're feeling empty or negative or anything like that. And it's going to help you out. I think that's why some people, to bring it back to like crystals and other things we were talking about, get them, because for some people that is their sanity. Like when they have the quartz in their hand, it's something they can tangibly feel. They feel peace or whole or what have you. And I think probably, I can't speak for all Christians and I did the quotations for those who aren't watching, or other groups, but I think probably the negative backlash with that, tarot cards, people reading horoscope stuff, whatever you want to call it, comes from people feeling like instead of worshiping God, you're worshiping now like this thing. So now,
which is really weird, because I don't think anybody who uses crystals that I've come across or read up on ever uses the word worship with crystal, because that's not the exchange that happens, because it's an exchange of energy.
Right. I don't think they're going to use the word, but it more so goes off of actions. Like I knew I never said that I worshiped my husband or marriage, but I did worship the husband in marriage. I put that on a pedestal above all else, subconsciously. So I think subconsciously, some people, and it's in your actions, it may not be in your words. You'll replace it. You'll replace what some people believe should be for God, you know, with your crystals, or with it. We could be with anything, you know, sex.
No, I guess it depends though, because like for me, like I said, like I still believe that the Bible has like really great lessons in it. And like I think some of those stories are true, whether it came from that era or the time before, like we talked about, like the Krishna era and stuff. So like there's times where I would, like, you know, if you're going through some shit and you just open the Bible and you get to the first passage, like, and they talks to you. The scripture talks to you. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so I know for me personally that it's a balance between the two, because I feel like because crystals come from nature and God made all of the shit that's around us, I bet he loves how much we curse while we talk about this shit.
He knows my heart.
He knows my heart. He knows my heart. Like I said, he got a great sense of humor. But like I feel like of course there's extremes in no matter like whatever belief system you have, because Christianity's got some serious extremes, and I'm sure that people who do crystals and witchcraft have certain extremes too, because if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't be stereotypes for any of those people. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's literally words like Bible thumper because of things like that, or like, you know, what sorcery is this, because people associate certain things with witchcraft or whatever. But I think that if it's a healthy balance within you and your soul, no matter like what the belief system is, I think it's cool. Like, I don't think you have to like, I guess, chain yourself to one thing or the other. It's just like you said, there's nobody who practices Christianity that actually go 100% by the Bible, because no matter who you are, you're cherry picking. There's no way, because
which is why there's so many different denominations, because each one is choosing to cherry pick.
I mean,
they disagree with one and they choose to focus on another, you know.
Even the ones that are super pretty strict, like we talked about Pentecostal churches who are like, oh, don't wear this, don't wear that, you can't wear makeup, no jewelry. Bet they're wearing blended t-shirts with cotton and something else, like
cotton and
you know,
nylon.
right?
I've never went to one that strict, but I went to one and it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It was probably the first one I went to where I was like, okay, this kind of feels like a home environment, because I think you're going to take the time to do something as intimate as get involved in church and open yourself up to that family. It should feel like a home. You shouldn't feel like you're going to get judged or anything like that. Now, with some people, it went left, because we're going to have to touch on these nice, nasty acting folks in church. Because I was very young. Well, I'm still young now, but I was younger when I first going there. And I was looking up to the women that had been married for decades and kind of wanting some type of guidance. And I got linked up to some pretty cool people, but in the same sense, just like you remember all the bad stuff that happened to you getting picked on when you're younger, you kind of unfortunately remember those bad moments more than the good. I just had some unfortunate run-ins with women that I think were more focused on thinking I was like trying to go after their husbands, rather than I'm looking for a sister. I'm looking for some guidance, a mentor. I'm in a sensitive spot right now, and I just want a friend who has the same Christ-like mindset as me to help guide me through this. But since you're not operating how this book says we should, you can't even do that with me right now.
Right.
I feel like so many churches in general fall apart because of that. I feel like Christianity for a lot of people is a joke because of that. They're so busy judging each other and then want to judge everybody else. And then, like you said, nobody's following the book verbatim. There's no patience and compassion for somebody else's walk.
Right.
And it's more fun to pick at somebody for being like, hey, you're transitioning from this to that, so you're more wrong. Or you're gay, so you're more wrong because I can see it. Meanwhile, it's like, well, you harboring unforgiveness, nigga, so what about you? Or you selfish with your money. You in your own bag all the time. You don't be helping us out, so now what?
And that's the thing that makes it so hard. Like, I don't like, okay, so for those of you who are listening and watching, if you guys have not checked out, you know what I'm about to say, The Family on Netflix, please do. It's only 5 episodes long. I'm on episode 3 and it's mind blowing. And it has a lot to do with how they utilize Christianity in this nation and other nations, and then how they've like remastered it kind of speak to control people. And that's why people, I think that's what, you know, what Brandy's saying, like people give Christianity so much shit because there are groups of men and women who use that to control or to like make something happen in their own agenda. You know what I mean? So the true nature of it, I think, got lost a very long time ago. And that's the issue. And that's why we can't come back from it. It's making it very
Yeah,
hard.
I do think it's to the point where there's no coming back. And then I think when you mix that with a level of most people just want to do what they want to do anyway. And it doesn't matter if they're talking about Buddhism or Christianity or Catholicism. It doesn't matter. You don't want somebody telling you what to do. You don't want the personal accountability. That's most people. I will never judge somebody for that because I get it. But I would respect some people's opinions more if they just came from it from that standpoint. Because again, you don't want me to give you all the answers on why does this happen, why does that happen, use the Bible or Quran or whatever you want to call it. You don't want me to really prove you wrong in that. You just want to do what you want to do. Just
it's true.
Like live your life how you want.
That's true too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I feel like it is. It's like, so people are so quick to go, where in the Bible does it say, if I pointed it to you, now what?
Right.
So you would still continue to do the same shit that you were doing before.
You don't care. But like we were saying on the last episode, all the time. Checked it out. I feel like it's more about relationship and finding out what's working for you and going off the positive fruits you see from that. I'm choosing, if I had to put it in a box, like we were saying before, because Demetrius and I were saying we do not like saying Christianity just because people kind of wince a little bit. But if I had to check a box, that would be it. And I'm doing my best to make sure that I try to represent that in a way where people can feel love before they feel anything else.
Yeah.
That way, you know, okay, this is how I'm making it through this, or this is why I think like this. This is why I have this set of standards or morals for myself. You do what works for you, because what's working for me may not work for you. And that's okay. I still love you because in my head, my heart, my God's telling me to just love.
I wish everybody was like that, because then it would be back to just the simple morals, the 10 commandments, and I think a lot of things would go smoothly instead of what's happening right now.
Like, instead of so much, you know, people trying to, I think it went sour because people used it as a mechanism to control, especially historically when you look through slavery and just manipulation, you know, across the board, you know, that's where it stemmed from. And that's where the distrust comes from. And, you know, even now, I was at we have this thing in Vegas, the first Friday. A lot of cities have it now, but like first Friday of every month, they have like this big, it was mostly art related. So you have a lot of people come out and showcase their artwork. And then you have a lot of people come out and just showcase anything that they're about. It's just about showcasing. So I had a lot of people approach me, you know, within the Black community about switching over to other religions, whether it be, you know, being Hebrew Israelite, whether it's being switching over to Islam. And they're telling me how Christianity is so horrible and terrible because for so long it's been used, you know, to hold our people down. And it's kind of like, I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, nah. You know what I mean? So,
I really like, listen people, I'm gonna give it like 3, maybe 4 or 5 episodes. I need everybody to watch The Family. We need to come back and discuss this because it
was along the same lines what I was talking about.
That, and then a whole bunch of other stuff that I think I've talked about before, not on our like podcast, but just in general crazy CJ conspiracy theory things. Like,
it's not crazy.
It's not crazy when they confirm it.
It's definitely not crazy.
It's not crazy if they give you more details on the same thing that you were talking about. My mind is blown, I'll tell you that. I spent 3 hours watching 3 episodes today, and I'm like, I need to finish the other 2 tomorrow. Like, and then I'm going to rewatch it like 2 more times so I catch everything. Like, I'm not kidding. It's really interesting to see how they manipulated Christianity to make the elites who they are now to control our nation, our government, a few other nations across the board. And we're not even talking about Christian nations that they're controlling. Like they're
the crazy part.
Yes, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. It's insane.
Now, I know we had one of our fans, shout out to Raina.
Oh, yes.
Raina.
After we yelled her name a million times. I'm going to go to it in my phone because I did a screenshot.
She was talking about crystals, too. Is that the one you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
She does bomb artwork. Go check out
her
page. It's Raina Rivers, like the river flows, Rivers, rolling on the rivers. So
hot mess.
You can find crystals in the river.
Buy crystals in the river. We want 10%, Raina. We not playing. We promote free girl. Get my Kris Jenner on.
I'm so done.
So she wrote us a very nice comment, which we appreciate, guys. Do not feel afraid, scared to leave comments, questions, all that stuff. We love it.
Yes, please.
But I like what she was saying about two things. About her experience, because she seems kind of traumatized from church before, which happens to a lot of people.
Right.
Which is interesting because people do not have the tolerance for church hurting them like they do other things.
That's true.
That's interesting. And I think it's because it hits home and it's so sensitive, you know? So again, like I was saying in the last episode, I had like a crazy fallout on the last relationship. I don't have relationship hurt. Or I've had some shitty jobs. I don't have job hurt, but people really, I feel like, use that church hurt as a crutch. Not saying Raina is, but part of me gets it because it's just such a sensitive thing. But she mentioned that, and I like that she mentioned she's not sure what to tell her kids about church or God or how to guide that. So how do you guys feel about that? Because I know CJ has children.
I do have children.
Today. He's cutting his throat, saying no.
Oh, he had 2 little nephews or something running around just earlier that I had to get at first.
Oh yeah, they was talking out the side of their motherfucking neck. I was like, to snap them niggas' throats. I was like, what? They said it as soon as the camera came on. I was like, what?
I said, what? Excuse me, I know where you live. Don't make me come and beat your butt.
He said, no, you don't. You don't know
said,
where
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Off the chain.
So,
but yeah, touch on that before I know we wrap.
So for like a little bit about the church hurt part, I feel like is because when it's your place of worship or place of trust, it's unconditional trust, right? Because you're brought into it pretty much. Whether it's middle of your life or early stages of your life, you go to church or temples thinking that you can trust the people who are in there. And I think that's why the backlash is so much harsher than like your boyfriend breaking up with you or something. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's, how do you put it?
You feel betrayed. Like,
yeah, you feel betrayed because you pour a lot more of yourself, like part of your soul goes into all of that because you're talking to, like, if you're Christian and you're talking to God, you're sitting there and pouring your guts out to him. So you expect people to have the similar standards and similar understandings that you do when you go to church. And so when those people turn their backs on you, I think it hurts a lot more. And I think that's why it hits you differently. You know what I mean?
Or even when you're thirsty for that and you're looking for just the guidance, or you're looking for the fellowship that everybody talks about. And when you get there and you see people just judge you based off of how you look, it's like, oh shit, you feel like crap. It's a really, really bad feeling. So I totally get it. Like you said, like I see where the church hurt comes from. Just based off
I think it's the difference between like what you said, walking in. So if you walk into a room, like, because I've experienced this at work, like I tell myself I have to be comfortable being the only brown girl in the room, going to business conferences and things like that. You just have to be. If I'm not up for it, then I can't go because it'll like break me down. But at church, no matter what you are, you expect other people to like take you in. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like brace yourself to go into these rooms. But once you start having to do that, I think you're just like, oh, nah, this ain't for me. You know what I mean? Like, so
that's hard too, especially with you bringing up the comment. And we'll have a different episode, you guys, all about race. That's probably going to be a 4-part because it's just so
a whole ass month of that.
Okay, and not during Black History because that would be different.
Yeah,
but it is hard not to have that kind of shield up, especially when you go to certain churches. And I think a lot of us military brats can relate to this because we're so adaptable and we're so used to different races and environments to be in. So I can kind of move in any room, right? But sometimes I don't want to be the only Black person in a professional setting or in a spiritual one.
Right.
But in the flip side, sometimes I'm not all the way comfortable when it's nothing but Black people. I'm like, so where's our mix? Because then I've noticed in certain Black churches that everybody move a certain way. And it's kind of like just an archaic mindset. I'm like, I kind of want something different. And then I've noticed the different I'm looking for is in churches that aren't Black, and they're operating that way. Or some Black people would say there's some Black churches that are operating in a white way. And they're more so.
Let's rock like that way.
You finna leave these pastors alone.
I hate you, dude. You
want a Millie Rock with Jesus?
Oh no! Stop.
I could have.
I actually have fun at churches like that.
Like, I mean, because they got out of hand when they started doing miming and just. It was not for me.
Leave the mimers alone.
Leave the mimers alone. I enjoy the mime show.
With they birds.
And every time I look back. And every time I think back, all the stuff I've been through, I've cried through it.
Oh my God. If you don't watch our YouTube, this part is the only part you need to watch.
Just the mind.
I will say that too. I don't like, and I don't know if white churches experience this or Hispanic churches or what have you, but I just kind of feel like Black churches are heavily entertainment based and fashion based.
I mean,
we gonna shuck and jive you into Jesus.
Listen,
why do we have fashion shows at church?
It's in our nature, and you know what? We're gonna talk about that on an episode.
So extra.
No, here's the thing. Shit. I don't know if you guys,
fashion. We be in church like, I'm getting saved today. This is what they're gonna dip me in.
Brandy, where did you get that all crystal necklace? What is this?
Don't ask questions.
Asking too many questions.
I'm sorry. I was just
You
curious.
need to ask the Lord. That's what you need.
I'm done. Oh my God. What were we talking? Oh, we were getting back into what to tell your kids about religion, right?
Oh yeah. Sorry, Raina.
So sorry, Raina. We're getting back. I know you're listening. We're sorry. Blame D and Brandy. CJ's always on task. Anyway. So for me, my oldest is not a believer in in the beginning. Let me rephrase that. In the beginning, she didn't believe in anything. And then as time have moved on, she believes that there is some kind of higher power. She's not sure what it is yet. At the dinner table, we still say blessings. We bless our food because to me, that's part of nature, blessing your food and making sure that there's no negative shit on it is my thing too. So for me, I think you just have to kind of incorporate it into everyday conversation. I don't think it has to be necessarily just like a sit down talk like the sex talk is. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, you live your daily life through whatever belief system you have. So for me, I think it has to be like whatever that moment arises, you should be teaching in that moment. Like my 3-year-old knows how to say her blessing already, for her food. So that's every day. We said it every day for her since she was born, and now she's got it. She mumbles a couple words, but she knows how to say the entire prayer. You know what I mean? So to me, it's a daily thing. It's a daily routine. There's no specifics unless questions arise. Like I gave my kiddo a set of tarot cards, and it doesn't bother me that she wants to get into that because I think in nature, especially for females, I think we talked about how females have like a higher sense of like sensitivity to things too, right?
I don't know if we spoke about that with everybody.
Well, I think it might have been just us, but so I think that females in the natural state always have more discernment and stuff and a natural sensitivity to everything, you know what I mean? Yeah. So your natural instinct when you're growing up, it's kind of like sexuality. You kind of explore everything. I think, because like I talked about how I explored like wanting to be a witch, wanting to be this, wanting to be that. Like I thought I was gonna make like herbal potions in my like fucking kitchen, and look, I literally did that. I used to rent like books from the library. The library had them. You can go get like potion books and stuff.
You know, for the record, I knew
Yes.
you was gay and I knew you were a witch. Just to be clear.
First of all, but like, well, that also explains to me, it explains Dee's sensitivity to these paranormal things because his brain's not.
He's a woman?
Well, his brain, well, see, no, because so I'm gonna come back, but sidebar, I did a thesis in college on the brain of somebody who's queer. I know. Look at Brandy. It was for my psych class, so my thesis was on different brain sections of queer people and people who claim to be straight. And what happened is, if you take the hypothalamus of a person who is straight man and queer lesbian, and then you dropped iodine on it, it would both come back dark, like black. And if you took a woman's hypothalamus that's straight and then a gay guy's hypothalamus that's and they section that off and you put iodine on it, it comes back white, which tells us that it's also something to do with chemical balances too. It's not always just like that's why I'm more towards you're born that way, like, because when
I'm not harboring an evil spirit.
No.
Oh my
Electric
God.
shock him out.
Please stop.
You're gonna beat me with the Bible?
I'm done.
Please stop.
Okay.
We're gonna get you some good old conversion.
I was going somewhere with this. I can't remember now.
No, that was
no, you were talking about what you're gonna, talk to your kids about.
Yeah, but so like for me, like I really think that, and now she's getting, and I was talking about how I gave her tarot cards, and it doesn't bother me because I feel like you have to explore. Like sexuality, you have to explore and figure out what's good for you, just like I had to. Like I have a mixture of, like, maybe it's like I said, the way I grew up. I have a mixture of things I look up in the Bible and use the stories to understand what's going on around me. And then I also have things like the crystals, and maybe that has to do with my Okinawan side because they were all about nature. Like I don't know if you guys remember walking around the island. If you go to like corners of streets, you would see like little stones with like kanji on it. Those were for like the god of the ocean or god of the river, god of the trees.
What was that song?
Oh my God, Dee, why do you know the words to that song? That's so weird.
Because he's demonic. We talked about this. Jesus. Nobody listens to me.
But you know what I mean? So to me, having something connected to nature is very natural. I hate all of y'all. I just hate all of y'all. Oh my God, you guys really need to watch the YouTube. I know we keep saying that. It's way better. Subscribe.
From on having them explore and do their own thing. However, I'm going to counter that because we're all about thinking differently.
Oh yeah.
I like the analogy you used as far as, well, you gave her tarot cards, let her, explore that, find out what's right for her in the same way people would explore with sex. I'm not so much going to tell my son to just explore with sex to figure out what he likes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to do it spiritually either, because I'm not going to be like, hey, sacrifice this cat, see if you're into this.
Well, I think it has to be exploration with guidance.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm probably going to verbally guide you before I physically provide something, because to me it gets
definitely
a slippery slope where then I'm that parent that's like, you can drink as long as it's at my house. I'm just not that person. I do want you to have your own choice in it, because I did. Like, luckily for me, my parents believed in something, but they didn't practice shit with us. So I got to have my own path with it. So I didn't really want to push anything on my son. But like you said earlier, naturally, you see what I'm doing. I have you around certain environments and people. Mm-hmm. You decide what's right from you from there. And it's just my job to make sure I pray for you, speak positivity, and just don't judge you for whatever you decide to do or become. Because I almost feel like too many friendships families and stuff fall apart because of how somebody decides to live. And that goes into spiritual stuff too, because I still can't believe there's families that are like, you're no son or daughter of mine because you're gay, or you want to be Brandon instead of Brandy. And I'm like, I could not leave my son like that. Like,
right.
my body to
And
live.
I think that's what it is, right? Like it's like I said, it has to be exploration with guidance. I mean, even with sex, it's like when we talked about it last time, like I told my kiddo, like, if you want to do it, come talk to me about it. I'd rather provide the condoms. I'd rather you not do it at all until you're like older. But if you are contemplating it, I want to arm them with the right information and the right stuff. And I guess that's the same way with spirituality. Like, even if I give her the tarot cards, I told her, I don't want you just like willy-nilly doing readings and shit like that. People
she's flipping them like she
like, that's not how that works. Or like, I think she went like a look at Vegas D say.
I almost snorted. Oh my god.
You say you almost what?
I almost snorted. That was funny.
Oh, okay.
But she has like a, I think she has a pendulum or something. Like I when I was younger, I got into like reading about dowsing, using like you use
like throwing a drink in somebody's face.
No, no, no. When you like hold like sticks and you like
to find water.
That's dowsing, but you can also technically, I guess you can use it for spiritual work and stuff too. Like it was
like Ghostbusters.
Yes, like Ghostbusters.
Don't ever do that voice again. That was fucked up. Let me see.
That was my excited voice. I can't just do my excited voice on.
No, do I have to see you?
D done leaned into the camera like he gonna hear her better.
I have to get excited again, and then the voice comes out. It only comes out when I'm excited.
I don't like that. Don't ever do that again, okay? Thanks.
Oh my god. But no, seriously. Like it's a weird place. I know, because and also like my older one is actually technically my stepdaughter. I just don't recognize step because she's my kid. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in a family with half brothers and sisters, but we really never recognized half. You know what I mean? Like we don't.
Yeah. I can't tell if you really claim you do.
I mean, it depends on the family. I know, I get it, but but so I didn't really come into her life until she was almost 9 years old. So up until then, there was no way for me to guide her with anything. You know what I mean? Like even talking about the Bible is probably like odd or weird to her, or just seeing us do like she doesn't say blessings when we eat our food, but I do it for her food when I'm sitting there. She don't know it unless she listens to this, but like I bless everybody's food at the table. You know what I'm saying?
I was doing some weird spirit cooking bullshit.
Right. Now, we're going to talk about that too. But like, I think it's important that you start daily. I guess that's my conclusion. I keep repeating myself, but
question.
Yes.
So do you and your hubby, or soon to be hubby, do you guys or have the same perspective when it comes to spirituality, or do you guys have your own things going on? And do you think that makes a difference on what the child's upbringing will be when it comes to that? Because you're a product of that.
Yeah. So I think he started off more of like, I know there's a higher power. I'm not sure what it is also. So that's probably where Emma gets it from too. But like, he's very open to all of the things that I do. And it's really cool. Like he's not in any way judgmental about anything. I gave him his first tarot reading a few weeks ago. It was interesting.
Okay, bro.
But like it's and I don't do that very often either. I quit doing that very often because it's a energy thing. But
I was just ready to say, does it like take away a lot of your rich
energy?
I
don't particularly like doing it just because. I really only do it when I feel compelled to. Does that make sense? Like I'm like, it's kind of like when somebody comes up to you in the grocery aisle and starts praying for you because somebody told her to.
I can't stand that shit.
Why? I love it.
No.
Yes, I did it in a black girl hair supply store one day. This lady prayed for me. But I have to make sure that it feels right.
That part. That's
yeah,
it.
so
It's
that's
only been a handful of times where it's felt right. But girl, if I had $1 for everybody, I was like, well, God told me to tell you, or we got to pray about. No, get away from me with that. I do not know you like that. This does not feel good.
I mean, I guess I haven't had it happen that often, so it doesn't bother me.
You're going to be at Mario's on the west side, Frankie Vegas people, you know, Mario's. I can imagine that happening inside of Mario's. That's why
I hate it.
Like, or the beauty supply warehouse.
Yes, that's why it happened to me. Like, this lady just was like, I need to talk to you. I was like, first of all, and you know, I'm already like skeptical about stuff. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. It didn't feel bad, so I just let her. She actually invited me to her church and stuff. I didn't go because I don't do churches, but like,
Brandy said, "Get away from me." I'm sorry, I can't get over that. It's funny as fuck. I'd pay cash money to watch that.
You gotta tell people to get away from you sometimes.
Just like, bitch, back off.
I mean, you could say it nicer.
That was nice. I'm sick of people telling me that shit. That was nice.
I mean, but you know, like if you, I guess I'm lucky for that part too. Look at D, he can't even stop laughing.
That's funny.
That shit.
That's real life. I don't know why.
Maybe people see that you need a little prayer in your life. That's what it is. They like that girl.
She's nuts. Like I need you not to roll up on me.
No, I mean,
you don't know me like that. Especially because I'm sensitive about touch too. Maybe it's because I watched that crazy movie where the spirits were transferring.
Oh yeah, I'm very something about that too.
So you don't do that. But every once in a while you use discernment, and you know, okay, you can pray with me, or I'll pray with you. I believe what you're saying. It's just undeniable. But sometimes it's like, no, don't roll. Get away from me.
It is. I totally understand that because people really do have like weird auras and energies and shit like that. Y'all never. Yeah, I get off task. Hashtag off task. These
I keep imagining Brandy like, bitch.
I ain't never said bitch to nobody.
But I imagined it in my head at Mario.
I probably gave that energy, but I ain't say it.
Mario's West Side Market. Bitch,
I'm done.
shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
Beat your ass.
He's just hanging out like an Asian dude pouring beer in his glass.
How you know what I'm doing?
You look like you had an izakaya doing this. I can't.
Oh my god.
So funny. Oh no. Oh. Of all the things to say, like he didn't go with the regular stuff like teriyaki or anything. He said hiyayako. I'm done. That's good though. Yeah, I want some now. Thanks.
I'm like, I have no clue what you guys are saying. I'm like dragging
cold tofu.
Soft ass cold tofu. That's delicious. With furikake on top.
Oh my god.
Lovely.
What were we talking about? Oh yes, let's get.
Sorry, off topic.
Off task. Come back, nigga.
Oh god.
But I guess like I don't think we'd ever go to church or anything because I'm not into it. I mean, if he wants to go, I'm totally down to going, but he's never mentioned it. Like we're planning our wedding and stuff, and I was like, is there like anything special? Because I've seen people do like the pouring of the sand, or you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw puzzle pieces. A family did puzzle.
Really?
Oh,
super cute.
That's kind of cool. Like I don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to. It might be a mixture of both.
Kid that can't put the puzzle piece in the right. Like get the fuck out of here! You ruined everything, Connor.
Oh my god! Not Connor.
Connor.
There's gonna be one Connor listening to this be mad as hell.
It's gonna be in the comments.
We're cutting you off financially, Connor. We're tired of your shit.
Don't
one job, Connor.
Connor's probably going to be a great supporter of this podcast. Stop it. We're going to start adding ads into
No, plot twist. Connor's like my future husband.
Oh my god, can't wait.
So you're cut off financially too. You'll have no
plot twist.
She's going to have more kids and their names are going to be like Daxton,
broke ass out of here.
Brayley.
Oh god.
Brayley.
Oh my god.
Paxton.
Ew.
Dayton.
Ew.
Haley. They love those names. I know they do.
Not they.
Oh,
I'm gonna get some comments for that one.
No,
It's okay.
Kay. Don't do that no more, Kay.
Oh my God.
She's one of them people that's like, I'm marrying someone white, so I'm not racist. I have a white husband, I'll have you know.
She's like, see, and pulls him from the side of the
No, right? Look, come here.
Robin.
No, he went to bed. I can't do it. He went to
Isn't he like a redhead? So he's one of the rare ones.
He's
Right?
he's red bearded and he's like dirty blonde on top, sometimes reddish, but yeah, he's a mix. We call him the calico cat.
Oh, so he has
different.
blonde
You should
hair
let
and
him-
like
What?
a red beard?
What?
You said blonde hair and a red beard?
He's got like a reddish beard. His beard's really red, and then his like hair is like dirty blonde. Used to be platinum apparently when he was younger. So.
Oh, he's an abomination. Okay.
Yeah, he like.
Oh no.
He morphed.
Oh no.
He morphed.
Abominational.
But I mean, you know, like I guess it's like easy though, because he doesn't really care about all this stuff. Like, I mean, he cares. Like, I think he. Like we talked about manifestations and stuff about, you know, what we want. And I think he's starting to like get into it a little bit more with me. So it's kind of cool. Like, I don't think he's ever told me anything like concrete for him though. What's up?
So what were we talking about manifestations again? Like, so what makes it evil?
Okay.
Like in the eyes of the crazy.
And before you get into that with that buttery voice, where are we at on time?
Oh, we got about 10 minutes.
Okay.
It went off. Yeah, I was going to get into that too. So we got to wrap it up in a little bit because I want to go to bed today. But so to answer your question, what was the question again? Something about last time we talked about manifestations and stuff.
Yeah. So
right?
what because I wasn't aware of this, but I didn't know like what you would call the crazy Christians would say that it
like
was
extreme Christianity.
extreme
people?
or evil or not of God.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I never.
So
it was
what
never brought
they're
to my attention.
So I guess my understanding of it is if you are asking for manifestations outside of talking to God and you're like doing it within yourself, it is like the Luciferian teachings have something called the I am, right?
I see it.
Yeah. So the I am situation is me, 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 me. I. So if you're doing that, your manifestation is coming from a darker place. And so whatever's manifested is not through God for them is, I guess, the simplistic explanation of that. So it to them, and when people talk about the universe or manifesting things, they think that it's coming from a Luciferian, I guess, belief in their
But
mind.
even if you're say if you're just one is like a Ned Flanders type of Christian and they just want positivity in their life and they talk about positivity because they know that the law of attraction works. They know that if I speak positivity as they teach in the Bible to speak positivity into, you know.
I think it's different from speaking positivity. I think they understand that words have power, but I think what they're talking about,
but not just in your words, but in your actions and how you, because that's how you manifest positivity.
But I think they've taken manifestation to a whole nother level. They think that manifesting is like getting yourself abundance of money, getting yourself a new home, getting yourself a new partner, and like materialistic manifestations. Because I think those people who are talking about the positive manifestations or positivity talk are talking about reaching out to other people in love, reaching out to other people to talk about Jesus or God.
Let's get this money together.
Yeah,
like,
so that it's, I think there's a separation in their brain where they're like, this bad one is because they're like materialistic and this is good because it's not about, you know, money or fame or whatever. Like,
good is good. I don't give a fuck if
it's
me
weird,
happy
like,
or if it's me getting this money. If I'm gonna get this money, I get this money. And I want everybody to get this money. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get this money together.
Go to Alaska.
Or Antarctica. You know
Antarctica.
Get this money.
This money.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not moving. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, you coming to Antarctica?
No, sir. I will not be.
Egg rolls. You finna do what you gotta do.
He definitely said what he said.
Yeah, you coming.
I'm gonna send you those frozen egg rolls in that wax paper.
I'm recording, niggas. Damn.
Yes. And that's gonna be our first T-shirt. I'm recording, niggas. Damn.
Oh my God, yes.
The triangle.
You know what? I'm gonna write that down. Y'all think I'm playing? I am not.
You gotta start taking these random phrases and just. I'm recording niggas. Damn. D. End quote.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh my God.
Damn, it's gonna be in all capital letters.
Damn.
It's happening. You think
and then it has to be like a good like cartoon version of him, like with his head turned and like taking out that mic off. He was so mad. So funny. Well, to wrap up the spirituality talk, all of y'all are going to hell. Wrap it up.
So terrible.
Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, I mean, but because you're not wrong, because everything that everybody is doing now is not 1 ounce of 100% whatever we got taught or is in the books that we're supposed to believe in. So there's nobody out here walking around like, I guess that's why they call everybody a sinner. I don't know.
Which is also why they should not judge. It's like, damn, just
girl,
and stop worrying about like even when you could judge people. I got some people right now that I could judge and read for filth like I was in a library. But page after page with receipts since you think it's a game.
Oh no.
Anyway. But it's not for me to judge. It's not for me to come at them and wish them ill. It's like, real talk, when I say I love people, because I literally can say I love you now to anybody. And of course there's different love, the agape and all the rest of that stuff, right?
Right.
But it's like, I do that because I feel like that's how God would want me to be. So regardless of how I'm feeling or you hurt me or whatever, you can love somebody and set up boundaries. You can love somebody and not judge them. You may not like what they do, but you cannot judge them for it. You may not understand or agree, but don't come at them just so nasty or condemning or anything, because I don't feel like that's Christian. I don't feel like that's anything good religion bubble. It would be in that bubble. I hate it. I really do. And there's so much of it going on.
If you don't have empathy for people, like there's no way. Yeah, empathy is everything. Like if you don't even try to understand where people are coming from, then you really can't like connect and help people get on their feet. This is the crazy part for me. Like people who, especially who are like, I go to church, I'm Christian, blah, blah, blah. They forget that it's not, they always think that here's my take on it. And I'm gonna wrap it up, I promise. People always talk about serving God, right? But being like Christ. And to me, if you're going to be like Christ, you're supposed to serve other people so you can be like Christ. And that's your way of serving God. And I think they like messed that up somewhere in between, because I really do think that the more you serve other people, the more you come back. Now, flip side, if you're on the other side and not Christian, that would also equal to karma. You do good, you get more back. It's just that way it is. But I don't think we like as a whole have stuck to it anymore, and that's the problem. Which
is the law of attraction is, if you do good shit will manifest in your life. But they say you're going to hell for that shit.
This
episode was brought to you by Adobo.
I've been waiting.
Use this shit her coochie stank. Just FYI, godliness is cleanliness. Wash it twice.
No,
not godly. Wow. Well, he ain't lying.
I mean,
we'll stop him when he's lying.
Yes.
Bon appetit.
Oh, bon appetit. I don't.
That shit just pissed me off. That just really.
It's true.
Made me re-mad again. It made me
not
re-mad. We're not trying to open up We're not trying to open up.
But so, like, I think that we got some cleared up. Oh, the only thing I wanted to add is, Raina, I know you were looking at citron. And you like citron crystals?
Ooh, what's that? What does that look like? I want to see. Show me.
Just get closer to the screen. I think you can see it. You just gotta.
This is a citron crystal. It's crazy that I have.
Why is it called citron? Because it's like a citrus.
Yeah, it's the citrus color. I'm guessing that's where they got the name from. But for her, I think she says she's been carrying it for money and stuff like that.
Shit, let me fill my bra.
technically though, it's for your like pancreas, your inner organs and things like that, your stomach. It helps with digestion. Like crystals technically are supposed to have vibrations that are like similar to parts of your chakra, like body parts, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like you were talking about.
Yes. So
Okay.
I don't know, Raina, I might hit you up later on a personal note and get you some info on that, just so you know. But manifestation is one of them, and that's why they use it for money. That's all I wanted to say. Okay.
Hey, since if you're healthy, you can get that money. You know what I'm saying?
Get that money. Get these rocks be shaking, shaking, vibrating together.
Oh my God.
Cheers. Let's get this money.
I can't
money.
th3.
Oh no. Look at y'all. I can't say. Oh, Brandy. No, you didn't. You know what? I can't even. Anyway, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, please make sure you subscribe to one of your platforms that you love listening to us on. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and comment, and turn on that bell for notifications. Look at that. I sound like an influencer now. Look at this.
Well, somebody's got to, girl.
Somebody got to be together.
Somebody's got to be together.
And on task. Next week, we are probably going to dive into something completely different. We're going to discuss this real quick after we get off recording. If you guys have any comments, questions, send us some stuff over. We'll shout you out like we did Miss Raina. I don't know what they're dancing to because I don't hear any music, so they're out of their damn minds.
It's the Africa inside of me.
Yes, yes. Come on, African.
Episode 17.
We're Africans, not African.
Oh my God. Thank you. So done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll check you guys next week. Have a great night. Bless you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.